Can't get rid of the puppet. As much.
All right. We're in the middle of a conversation. All right, so let's just start this off. The yesterday's video was the irony of Gerard Gallant being in the Eastern Conference Finals and the Panthers.
Wait, first I have to thank you.
I'm getting there. And today the irony is it's not only Fluffy's birthday, but it's actually Stu's birthday. What are the odds of that? What are the odds of Fluffy and Stu being born? Not the same year, but the same day. Fluffy's not that old. Fluffy is 9 today. And what are you, Stu? 80, 82, 83? What do you got today?
12.
He's 12. All right, well, 82 minus 12 is 70. That's still not right. I know how old he is, but we're not going to go there. So happy birthday to Stu.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, like I said on Twitter, big part of the channel. What you guys don't know is whenever you see like a video come out at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, that is because I've been exhausted and I'm ready for my nap. And Stu will text me with, "Hey, I got this idea." And in the years past, I would have let the exhaustion give me the excuse to not do the work. So, but I've learned rather than try to tell Stu no, I just get my ass up off the recliner and do the video. So
yeah, you gotta
thank him for the extra content.
Well, you gotta do them when they come in my head because they go out as quickly as they come in. You know, that's getting with age. But no, thank you very much. It's weird, man. It's like when you get older, like birthday's just like it's just another day. But I'm gonna try and make this, special day today. And as far I'm just like so thrilled that the channel's doing good and whatever little part I've played in it, it's we have fun doing these.
We have fun. We have fun doing this. And all right, good.
And no, it's just, it's nice to share ideas with people. I love reading the comments, whether they're good, they're bad. And, I love people that, have different views and different opinions on things. That's what makes, this is the Panther fan channel. So
I agree.
You still have to start the videos. All right, Panther fans and hockey fans, because we're still Panther fans. Diehard fans, but we still love hockey, and there's still a lot of hockey to be played, and
still a lot.
I'm waiting for tonight because, we want different teams to win.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that. So somebody mentioned in the comments last night, the Oilers and Avalanche scored 2 fewer goals in game 1 than the Panthers and Lightning scored in the entire series combined. and there was actually another thing that came up on the stream, and I saw that Draisaitl and McDavid had 26 points each, and I said, did Barkov and Huberdeau even combine for half of one of those guys? And somebody looked it up, and they didn't. The entire playoffs, Barkov and Huberdeau combined for 12 points, and Draisaitl and McDavid have 26 apiece before last night. So
now
we got work.
Those guys finished in the top 3, I think, in the regular season. Yeah. So it just goes to show you that you could just, just segue from the regular season right into the playoffs. I mean, it's just mind-boggling, and I've said this before. What the hell happened to those guys?
I know. Well, look, I think the main thing we saw last night is the Western Conference plays such a different style than the Eastern Conference. I mean, we knew that. I mean, everybody was joking it was going to be high scoring. Before the recap started, I said, let's get 15. And they almost did. And what is goaltending? I think I said that in our preview that the series theme was going to be what is goaltending. And sure enough, not that it was their fault. Not all the goals were their fault. I mean, there were so many times when they were left out to dry on 2-on-1s. It was especially Smith was just hung out to dry. But that display last night was I can't remember a playoff game. It's hard to remember a game like that, because when they got down, when it was 6-3, you texted me, you're like, that's it. And I'm like, nope. Edmonton's going to come back.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. And because I thought they were going to do it. And they almost did. And the one thing I wanted to talk about, I already mentioned this too. I believe the reason why Edmonton lost that game was those late game faceoffs, because they kept getting, they had Avalanche on their heels, and they kept getting faceoff after faceoff in the offensive zone, and Colorado kept winning those faceoffs and clearing the pucks. And to me, that lost them. Yeah, to me, that lost them the game, because they had Colorado absolutely on their heels. And the other thing for me, and I'm curious your thought here, I'm not a big fan of the pulling of the goalie. And it seemed as though once, again, they had Colorado on their heels. Once they pulled the goalie, it's like the other team, Colorado, see this a lot of time. The team that's trying to hold on to the lead will amplify their defense, because they feel like, okay, now we can get one down the ice and put the game away, which is what happened.
Yeah, I was in total agreement with you the night that the Panthers pulled. What was that, game 4?
Yeah, I think
game 4, right?
Yeah, it was game 4. Yeah.
And they were outplaying them 5-on-5.
Right.
And nothing says you have to pull the goalie.
Right.
I mean, a lot of goals are scored in the final few seconds because they have the extra man.
Right.
But obviously, when your power play sucks,
right,
and you have the extra man, that just goes to show you know what? Stick with 5-on-5.
Right.
Who knows what would happen? But it's so easy for someone to cough up the puck,
right?
And the defense, they just they're so good at finding the net,
right?
That I bet you on a 10-shotter from, let's just say, mid defensive zone, or even before the red line.
Yeah.
These guys score 7 out of 10.
Yeah. The puck's in the back of the net.
I mean, look at the accuracy thing in the All-Star game.
Right.
Most of the good players hit the target most of the time.
Well, like the one guy that scored on Smith, on the goal that went in when he wasn't paying attention, that went in from the other zone, right?
The Calgary goal, yeah.
He had to get it on net for it to go in, and
they're so good. They're so good from long distance.
Right.
So that's a good argument. Look, comment on that, guys. What's your opinion?
Yeah.
You're in the final stages now. You've been playing great 5-on-5. You're taking it to them. Do you pull the goalie and take a chance? Because, like I said, all it takes is one mishap. One guy missing a pass, or one guy bounces off his stick, or one guy whatever, and the defensive team has the puck and they shoot it down, and then it's game over.
And it changes how you're playing on offense too, because instead of just trying to move the puck around, and it's not a big deal if it gets moved out of the zone, you can take more chances, because if it gets pucked out of the zone, you go back and get it and get back into the zone. But with the goalie pulled, it just changes everything. I don't like it. And look, I mean, Colorado got the empty net, I think, with like 20 seconds left. And how many times have we seen teams score with less than 20 seconds? 20 seconds is plenty of time to come down the ice and have one more rush and have the goal, have the puck go in with 3.8 seconds left. You know what I'm saying?
Right before that, they almost scored.
Right. I'm going to butcher
close.
His name, but Francois. Well, I'm just going to call him Francois. That's what rolls off the tongue.
That's fine.
The announcers couldn't even get it right anyway. We were down to both backups last night. And my question was, does Edmonton go back to Smith? Because Koskinen played pretty well.
I think that if I'm the coach, I give Smith one more shot, but man, Colorado just was like an avalanche. No pun intended. They were bringing the Panther waves last night.
Yeah.
Wave after wave. They look like the better team from the opening whistle. And again, it comes down to heart and desire. It looked like Colorado was on a mission to win that first game, even though Edmonton scored first.
Yeah.
No, and
Yeah,
Vander Kane. But I think the star of that game last night, and I said it in the preview, that one key factor in that game is going to be Kyle McCarr.
Yeah.
There is no better offensive defenseman in the league.
No. I don't know where he ended up, but at one point he had 1 goal and 3 assists. And I think there was another goal scored or 2. So who knows if that's where he ended up, but you were exactly right there.
That's the type of player I'd like Ekblad to be.
Right.
A take charge, put the team on his back player. I mean, it's just, I don't really focus on his defensive play because of he's the type of offensive defenseman that can change a game.
Right. And just like with all of our guys, we see flashes of what they can do, but there's a mentality in the overall ambience of the team that's missing that stops those guys from doing that in the biggest moments. And we'll just leave it there. So,
well, the highlight for me is, again, the superstars. The cream rises to the top.
Yeah.
The superstars of those teams.
Right.
Nathan McKinnon.
He's so he can go from standing still to 100 miles an hour. Like I said last in the recap, the only player I've seen with that burst is Pavel Bure, where he could go from he'd have the puck standing still and he'd turn around and he'd be Roadrunner, just gone.
Right. And don't forget, we had Bure on the downhill.
Yeah.
The Pavel Bure, when I was around back then to watch him on Vancouver.
Yeah.
And he was just, again, he was, when I look back on all the Panther players, and I love Yager and, whatnot, but Pavel Bure was just, every time he got on the ice and had the puck, you just never knew what was going to happen. So, as far as greatest Panther players, in my opinion, it was Bure, but it was just sucked that, he had, at that point in time, the knee injuries and whatnot. And
right.
He was on the downhill of his career, but
that
move McKinnon made, and I made the comment to you on the breakaway, that's the type of thing where Mammon would, shoot it into the goalies or try and deke and it wouldn't go through.
Right.
That's a guy that buries it when it has to be buried.
Right.
So it's amazing that Edmonton scores, I think it was 23 seconds. Colorado ties it up.
Yeah.
Then Edmonton scores again.
And 9
seconds later, Colorado ties it up.
And then like in the first 20-30 seconds of the second period, Colorado scored again. So it was like they had when you combine it, they had scored like 2 goals in 40 something seconds. And it was just off to the races. And it was funny. The announcers, every once in a while, the announcers would be like, whoa, we went 10 minutes without a goal. And then all of a sudden there'd be, I think at one point the teams combined had scored like 5 goals in the last, 4 minutes, 5, whatever the stat was. It was just absurd. It was, and
certainly an exciting game for the fans there. Hey, listen, guys, I don't know what the over was in that game. So if anybody knows what the over was in that game, please put it in the comments.
Right.
Because obviously if you bet it, it was a good bet.
That was a good, right. I have a feeling though, they're going to tighten down a little bit defensively in game 2. I think both
14
teams,
goals.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And by tightening down, I think, it still could be 5-4. I think that's tightening down because the goaltending, and we don't know about Kemper either, right? His upper body, he had taken a couple of pucks to the mask area. So you just wonder what that's all about. You can't really lose him, if you're Colorado. That's he was already just going to get you by, you know what I mean? And Francois had a decent, he was decent. He made a lot of saves. Edmonton was just all over him. So he did make some saves, especially towards the end of the game. But if you're Colorado, you can't lose Kemper. So for their sake,
just think, you get hit in the mask stops it. But when the puck's going 80, 90, 100 miles an hour and you get hit in the head,
yeah,
it still has
right?
to hurt.
Yeah.
It still has to hurt.
Yeah, it's like, well, you got a mask. It's like, yeah, but have you picked up a puck when it's frozen? You know what I mean? That's gotta, you know it. You could just easily just twinge your neck. It couldn't even hit in your head. It could have just twinged your neck because of the way it hit. So there's that to watch. And then of course we got tonight, and tonight is going to be, if, like I said, if the opposite it's not another strong enough word to say that it's going to be great, because it's every other night. I mean, it's every night, right? So we got last night, and then we got the opposite hockey. And I've never seen two series that more illustrate. I mean, this is kind of what I talked about in the ending video for the Panthers, the difference between the style of play in the two conferences.
And that's wild.
Yeah.
They're still playing hockey, but I agree wholeheartedly with you. Obviously, I'm trying to think what will happen if the Rangers win tonight as opposed to Tampa, because the first game seems to have meant nothing. I mean, the Rangers came back from 2-0.
Right.
But the first game is at the Garden.
Yeah.
And the Garden is a special place.
It's a different place.
They call it the greatest arena in the world.
Right.
And I've, obviously seen many games there. And the Garden crowd, when that crowd starts getting up in the high decibel range, you could be standing next to somebody and they can't hear you.
Right.
I used to go see concerts there, and the seats and stuff would, like, because the Garden is on. It's just weird how the Garden, how they made it and whatnot. It's not like on land on a foundation. It's part of Penn Station and whatnot, and it seems to like move up.
The seats in the Orange Bowl, I don't know if you ever were in the Orange Bowl for a heavy game. The stadium would shake. You'd be sitting there, and if it got rocking enough, you'd be kind of swaying a little bit. You'd be like, shit, I think the 80,000 of us need to calm down here. This is, I mean, the stadium would shake, bro. I'm serious.
What's cool about the Garden also, like other arenas, but it's really special when you look up in the ceiling and you see all the banners.
Yeah.
I haven't been to the Garden since they refurbished it. So I'm going from memory of, the 70s.
Right.
I think the last time I was at the Garden was for a Thanksgiving, kind of sort of around Thanksgiving, Metallica show. I don't think I've seen I think maybe I saw a hockey game. I have, let's put it this way. I haven't seen the new Garden. So, my friend Brian has described it to me, but obviously not being back in New York in so many years, I don't know. Right. But again, it's Madison Square Garden.
Right.
So it's important for the Rangers. I guess we're segueing to that series.
Yeah.
It's important for the Rangers, to take this first game. Especially the the Lightning not played for, and I don't know how many days exactly it's been, but they haven't played in over a week.
Let's see.
And that could be good and bad. Obviously, having the week for the guys to heal up is good. But when you're playing every other night and you're in that groove of playing every other night,
right,
and you sit for over a week, it might take a little bit for them to get back in the playing groove. So it's going to be curious to see how they come out.
Yeah, and that's because game 4 was Monday. Because remember we had the back-to-back, so Sunday, Monday, and poof, it was over. And then so today's Wednesday, so it will be just over a week. If the Rangers are going to win this series, they got to win game 1, because if the rest did Tampa good, this not good for the Rangers. The Rangers need Tampa to come out and, like exactly what you said, be a little bit maybe rusty, and the Rangers are sharp and on fire and on point. And at the Garden, they've got to get game one, because just like Toronto, just like the Panthers, they have an opportunity to win the series without beating Vasilevsky 2 games in a row. And to me, that's the key. And, obviously Panthers blew that game 1, but Toronto had an opportunity in game 7 to do that, and then obviously couldn't get it done. But, it's going to be, we've talked about it a lot, but the coaching is just going to be on a different level in this series. I think you're going to see a lot of intricate line combinations and line matching. I just think that these two guys are going to take it it's going to be personal between these guys in a sense. They don't really have a history, but believe me, Gallant wants to be the guy to take Tampa out. I think that's the point. If there's a coach with a personality to be in the room and be just like on a cursing tirade about wanting to beat Tampa, I think Gallant more than Q, because Q doesn't, Q was in the other conference, doesn't really have that, hadn't seen Tampa. They hadn't really been the nemesis the way that, the Panthers and Lightning were. So I think that could be a factor, is Gallant is going to want it so bad that that might rub off on the Rangers.
Yeah, well, I agree with you about game 1, but I also think game 3 is always, to me, the pivotal game.
Right.
And especially, it's in Tampa. So no matter what happens in the first 2 games, game 3 to me is always kind of sort of like the pivotal game in a series.
Right.
But yeah, I'd agree with you. Gallant's one of those fiery, former player, and his style of hockey was, very aggressive and physical.
Right.
So how do you beat Tampa?
Yeah.
For the Rangers? And line matchups are key. I agree with that as well. And that's why having home ice advantage is really important, because you can set the table. So obviously you got to stop Kucherov and Stamkos. You got to find a way to neutralize everything at Tampa. And I've said it before, everything goes through Kucherov, especially on the power play.
Yeah.
I'm assuming there's no Braden Point.
Yeah, he didn't practice yesterday, so
yeah. So who knows if he's coming back?
Right.
But power play and penalty kill is going to be crucial in this series.
Yep.
Hedman, Sergachev, Cernak, Bogosian, McDonough. Those are guys that the only way I think you're going to beat those guys is, I think the way you're going to beat Tampa is dump and chase.
That's interesting.
And winning board battles, because I don't see finesse play, coming up the middle. The way that, Tampa plays that game, they basically have the blue line blanketed. So I think it's going to be a dump and chase, if the Rangers are going to be successful. And they do it pretty good. I'm looking for that kid line.
Yeah.
Lafreniere, Kako, whatever the hell his name is.
Capo
Puffs.
I mean, I've always thought about that. I'm like, there must have been a remarriage or something, because if your last name's Kako, and I'm going to get it backwards, either way, if your last name is Kako or Capo, who's naming their kid Kako or Cop? There had to be a remarriage. It had to be it would be like if your name was John Johnson. It'd be like that couldn't have been on purpose.
Isn't it amazing? Now, he was a first-round pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And he's playing on the third line.
Right.
I wish I could remember who the third member of that line is. But I'm looking to see that line do some things. Andrew Kopp, I think, is going to be an important player.
Right. But there's no guarantee, and this is the interesting thing I'm curious to see tonight, is there's no guarantee that Tampa is going to try to play the same style against the Rangers, because that style that Tampa played against us was because that shut down what we did best. And Tampa may look at this and be like, you know what? If we try to play, hard nose against the Rangers, they might be able to beat us. But I think in an open ice flying around type of style, I think that would give Tampa a huge advantage. So I'm not entirely convinced yet that Tampa is going to employ the same exact strategy, because they can beat you both ways. However they want to play, they can play. So I'll remain unconvinced until I see the first period on the ice tonight.
In the end, it comes down to Vasilevsky versus Shesterkin.
Right.
And again, Vasilevsky can be beat. He's not invincible. We've had games where we've put, I think it was the last 2 games of the season last year, where we put 5 goals behind him in both games.
Yeah.
Rebounds, tip-ins, defensive mistake where it's just a bang play,
right,
and great shots, like upper corners, right under the bar. Those are the ways you're going to score against Vasilevsky,
right.
And I think the Rangers do a pretty good job of clogging the front of the net. That's another thing, taking the eyes away from the goalie. Something that we didn't do. If you notice in our games, other than maybe a Hornquist or a Reinhardt, tell me how many times we had 1 or 2 guys in front of the net. And that's another thing, is clearing the front of the net. And there was one goal that Colorado scored last night where the player got behind the Edmonton defenseman. And I'm like, who did that remind you of, Eric?
The player to be named later. I'm not
not necessarily him. I actually said Ekblad.
Right.
How many times
that's actually a good point.
Get muscled out from in front of the net.
Well,
so
Ekblad gets muscled out. Right. No, you're right.
So, and the face-offs.
The face-offs were huge. Yeah.
Especially on the power play.
Right.
When let's just say the Rangers have a power play, they got to win that face-off to get set up and get that going.
Right.
Now, how many times you see, the defensive team win the face-off and it's down the ice. Right. And then you got to reset.
Now, speaking of power plays, I made this point on the preview I did with Twisted Wrister yesterday. There's a guy who plays for the Rangers who's going to have a big effect on this series one way or another. And that guy's name is Frank Vetrano, because if he gets hot, he could really help the Rangers. But if the other guy shows up, if stupid penalty Frank shows up and gives Tampa that extra power play every game, not good news. Not good news. And for you Ranger fans, it's interesting because when Frank first went to the Rangers, he started scoring, and I started seeing fans and a couple people making videos about how great Vetrano was, and I was commenting, I'm like, y'all
wait.
Don't fall for it. Don't
just wait.
Trust me, please, because eventually he's going to stop scoring and start taking stupid penalties. And he was taking the penalties in the last round. Luckily, it didn't cost him the series against Carolina, but it will against Tampa. And again, as a Panther fan, trust me, if Vetrano takes stupid penalties against Tampa, you can't win that series against that team. So Vetrano is, as much as you would think the stars are the key, which way Vetrano goes. You got him on the first line, so he's going to get a lot of minutes. And every time the Panthers would try to put him up on the top 6, especially if he had a game on the top line, he can't hang defensively, and he hooks guys and he hooks guys and he hooks guys. So just be warned, Ranger fans. I'm not making it happen. I'm just giving you guys advance notice that that's the one thing. I don't want that to happen either, but just be careful. Oh, we absolutely lost Stu. So much talk about Frank Vetrano, and we absolutely lost Stu. I wonder if he can come back in. That's never happened before. Well, we'll give Stu a minute to come back in and see. And I'm seeing if he's texting me. I wonder if his internet went out. That looked like an internet failure on Stu's part. So, all right, I guess the video is done. Poor Stu. The aliens came and took him on his birthday. That's what it is the aliens came and took him on his birthday. He must have lost the internet. I haven't gotten a text yet either. So, all right. That concludes this video. And Stu will interrupt me in the middle of me closing this up. So appreciate all the support. Like all the new subscribers. Really, really having a good time doing non-Panther stuff. It's a lot less stress. It's a lot less pressure on me because I can just watch the games and have fun. And my heart's not invested in it. You know, I'm just having fun watching hockey, and I can just be animated in the recaps and have fun with it. So it's gonna be a good time. Once there's no hockey, the content's not stopping. Like I've said, I'm actually probably gonna do a few fishing videos over the summer. I've been wanting to do that for a few years. So I figure maybe I'll make that happen for some extra content, something to balance out all of the what are the Panthers going to do and what's going to happen in the NHL videos. So Stu is just gone. I mean, I haven't even gotten a text from him. Stu is just gone. He has disappeared off the face of the earth. The aliens came and took him. Happy birthday, Stu. Happy birthday, Fluffy video probably coming out today too. Even though it's going to be 94 degrees, we'll make something happen. Oh, wait, here's the text from Stu. Let's see. I bet you his internet is gone. Oh, it looks like his Wi-Fi is restarting his computer. That's okay. That's all right. Should we give let's just do it this way. Let's just call Stu and see if he wants me to wrap this up or not. Oh man. This is hey, all right. So you're back on. We're still recording. So do you want me to wrap this up or do you want me to wait for you?
I'm booting back up. So
well,
that's never happened before.
No,
so
I know. I
just don't understand it. You froze.
Yeah.
And I kept on talking, thinking it was you, not me.
Yeah, in the middle of I said Frankfurt Toronto one too many times, and you just disappeared. We thought the aliens came and took you for your birthday. I thought they just came and took you. So I kind of wrapped it up here. So do you want me to end the video or you got more to say? You want me to end it or how do you want to work this?
Hold on. let me get back here.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll keep talking.
Let's see if it works.
Okay.
And if it doesn't.
All right. I'll hang up on you. I'll keep yapping.
I have no internet, so it's possible that AT&T fucked me.
Oh.
So you can wrap it up.
Yeah, I'll wrap it up because if you've got no.
I had technical difficulties yesterday. So.
Yeah, we got it again today. All right.
Now I was going to say now it's back, but hold on a second. I just for curiosity.
Yeah, what the hell?
You could end it, but hold on.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll give you a minute. We'll see. I'm going to hang up on you though now. Bye.
Bye.
So remember yesterday when we had the technical difficulties and I said, hopefully that today we won't. Well, that you've witnessed that. So I think he lost his internet, but I'm going to give him, it's 9:13. We'll give him to 9:15. So we'll keep yapping here a little bit. I'll give you a couple of little channel updates. This show, the Reviews with Stu, is going to be a podcast available by the time that the Stanley Cup finals start. So that's happening. And then I'm going to be starting. I'm going to wait till after the season because I'm so ridiculously busy right now. I'm going to wait for after the season. I'm going to actually have a separate Flying Fluffy podcast. It's not going to be Flying Fluffy hockey. It's just going to be Flying Fluffy because I'm going to have all manner of guests. It's going to be including hockey, but we'll be able to talk about other subjects. A little bit more well-rounded. So that'll be on the channel as well, but that's also going to be a separate podcast. So that's coming. Merchandise store. I'm working on that. It's a little bit more work than I thought because I had a Teespring store, but their functionality I'm not happy with right now and their products. So I'm going to end up with a second store, because I have the regular stuff, the merchandise with the logos and everything like that, but I want to add in some stuff with Stu and I and the caricatures and some extra stuff with Fluffy and some stuff with the puppets. So that's coming. So all of these things are going to be coming over the course of the summer. You know me, I'll launch one thing at a time. I don't want to do too much at once because then I have to walk things back. So I do not think Stu is coming back. I think Stu is lost. Oh, he says it's back. No, well, he has no internet, but now it's back. So we'll give him another 30 seconds. He's telling me to wrap it up, so we'll probably just wrap it up. Makes for good live TV. I was just curious to see if he could rejoin the same meeting, which I guess he probably can. But all right, that's enough of that. Stu is going to go enjoy his birthday. I'm going to go do stuff with Fluffy for his birthday. We can't go to the river because it's 94 degrees today. And Ellie, with her surgery, can't get in the water for another 4 or 5 days. So we're going to have an indoor birthday party for him for the most part, although I am going to get him with the hose and see if he can run around and have a little bit of fun out there before it gets too hot. So, all right. Oh, and Stu is back. This is great. Oh, wow. All right. He's trying. We're getting him back. So I wrapped the whole thing up. I said, all right, I'm getting ready to say thanks for the support and stop recording. And that's when you came back. So Stu, just how was it with the aliens? They brought you back pretty quick, right? I mean, that's what happened, right? Right.
Yeah, they couldn't resist me giving my final thoughts.
Yeah.
The last 2 days, I don't understand what's been happening with my internet, Wi-Fi, whatever. But anyway, my final comments.
Yeah.
Okay. Game 1 is always a very important game. The Rangers have home ice. It's the Garden. It's going to be rocking. If the Rangers can get out to an early lead, it's obviously going to be a lot better than getting down 2 goals.
Right.
The big question is the layoff going to affect Tampa?
Right.
In my mind, I don't see that happening. But again, let's see what happens in the first 10 minutes of the game.
Yep. Absolutely agree. Anyway, last thing I'll say is you just don't know what to expect with Tampa. They're not they're not a normal team. None of what they do is normal. It's just they're all. It's like the Patriots of football. It's like there's the league and then there's the Patriots with Brady and back in the day. That's how Tampa is right now. They're their own universe. They do whatever the hell they want. So, all right, I've already wrapped it up twice. So I appreciate all the support. Stu, have a good birthday, and
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, sorry guys, about the technical difficulties that happened.
It's okay. I did a little dance. I got up, I took the shirt off, I twerked.
Hey, listen, I'd rather have it happen on our video than during the game. And a goal is scored and we miss it.
Yeah, no good.
Anyway, everybody have a great day. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Yep.
Follow me on Twitter at Stu and Boca.
Yep.
And thanks for all the birthday wishes.
Yep.
We'll see you, I guess, tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see you again tomorrow. It's tomorrow for a while. That's for sure. Yep. All right, guys.